impressed. Wonderful. Now, my story today is about somebody who was, now I'm going to write it up on the board here, I'm going to write white letters with my red paintbrush. So you have to look very carefully at the white spaces, screw your eyes up a bit, put your heads on one side, and you should be able to read what it says. And it says shepherd, that's right, someone who was a shepherd. Now who can tell me what a shepherd does? Okay, yes, there, in the back. Looks after sheep, well done. It's the shepherd's job to make sure that the sheep have plenty of nice green grass to eat, plenty of nice fresh water to drink, and to keep them safe. Do you know, in the Bible, it says that we are a bit like sheep. That's kind of odd, isn't it? Maybe by the end of the story you'll have worked out why it says that. But it also says that there is somebody who wants to be our shepherd. Well, this particular shepherd was very good at what he did. And one night, he's standing there counting all the sheep as they go past him into the sheep pen where they'll be kept safe for the night. 76, 77, 78, 86, 87, 80, 96, 97, 98, 99. 100. Well, there should have been. I went out with 100 this morning. Oh, don't say I've miscounted. Oh, I'll have to start again. And he looked around, but all the sheep knew exactly who was missing. And so they told the shepherd. They said, it's Barnaby. And it was. Because a bit earlier that day, Barnaby had been out in the field with all the other sheep, and Barnaby had looked around at all the green grass, and Barnaby had thought to himself, I'm bored. I'm bored with eating green grass. I want to eat red flowers. You might think that's a bit weird, but if you were a sheep, trust me, you'd like it. And Barnaby had noticed that there were some red flowers just over there. So he kind of snuck over and they were good. They were really good. Now what Barnaby did not notice was that as he was eating the red flowers, he was getting further and further up the hill. So I'm going to paint him in up here. Here he is, look. This is Barnaby the sheep. Okay. And as he leant over to reach one particularly juicy looking red flower, he kind of went, ooh, and his foot slipped down between two rocks. Ooh, ooh. Oh, that's all right, he could still reach some flowers. But then he couldn't reach any more flowers. And he wouldn't move. And Barnaby realised that he was trapped. He was trapped. He couldn't get out. He was in big trouble. And you know, sometimes I think we get ourselves into big trouble. We get ourselves trapped into things and we can't get out. Maybe we tell one little tiny fib to get out of trouble. And then we've got to tell another one to cover up the first one. And then another one that covers up the second one, that covers up the first one. And then another one that covers up the third one, that covered up the second one, that covered up the first one. Until we're trapped and we can't get out of it. And we're in big trouble. Oh dear. Well, the shepherd, having listened to the sheep tell him it was Barnaby, came looking. And it didn't take him long to find Barnaby. And he bent down and he pulled the rocks apart and he lifted Barnaby up. He said, Barnaby, you silly sheep. Why do you have to wander off and do the things you're not supposed to do? And he took him back to the sheep pen. Well, Barnaby had been a bit scared by that. So Barnaby was good then for a whole 2 days. And 2 days later, Barnaby was out in the field, and Barnaby looked around at all the green grass, and Barnaby thought, I'm bored. I'm bored with eating green grass. I want to eat red flowers. And just a little way over there was some very nice looking red flowers. So he snuck off when nobody was looking, and they were good. And he hadn't had any for 2 days. And he went further and further and further. Now what Barnaby did not realise was that he was getting closer and closer Here he is, to the big, dark wood. Now, what lives in a big, dark wood? Yes.
A fox.
A fox, even bigger than a fox. Wood, yes. A wolf, even bigger than a wolf. At the back. A bear, you are absolutely right. And in this particular big dark wood was an enormous big dark bear. And the bear looked out through the trees and he thought, ooh, look, lunch. Meals on wheels. And Barnaby was coming closer, and the bear got out his picnic table and his red and white checky picnic cloth and his knife and his fork and his mint sauce, because you've got to have mint sauce with lamb. And Barnaby was getting closer, and the bear was getting ready to pounce, and Barnaby was getting closer, and the bear was getting ready to pounce, when all of a sudden, Barnaby! The shepherd had seen him go. The bear was so shocked that he dropped his mint sauce and ran back into the forest. And Barnaby just stood there with his knees kind of going, ooh. And the shepherd came over. You see, the shepherd had realised that Barnaby had put himself... Oh, that's not fair, you read without me writing. Had put himself in danger. And the shepherd had come to rescue him. Do you know, we put ourselves in danger sometimes, don't we? Maybe Mum or Dad have said, now listen, I don't want you to go and play in that particular place because it's dangerous. And where do we want to go and play? In that particular place. Or maybe it's, now listen, those people are doing bad things and I don't want you mixing with them. And who do we want to go with? Those people. But you know what? The Bible says we put ourselves in danger in another way as well. It says that when we do the things that we know are wrong, it makes a big barrier between us and God. And that puts us in danger as well. Well, Barnaby was taken back to the other sheep. And listen, Barnaby was really scared that time. So Barnaby was good for a whole 2 weeks. And 2 weeks later, Barnaby was out in the field. And Barnaby looked around at all the green grass. And Barnaby thought, I'm bored. I'm bored with eating green grass. I want to eat red flowers. And just a little way over on the edge of the field were some red flowers. And Barnaby noticed that every time a sheep went anywhere near them, the dogs came and barked. So he tried walking sideways so nobody could see him. But it didn't work. The dogs came. So he waited until after lunch when the shepherd had finished his shepherd pie. And the shepherd sat down under the shade of a nice big tree. And his eyes began to droop. And the dogs lay down next to him. And their eyes began to droop. When they were asleep, Barnaby snuck off to the red flowers. They were good. He hadn't had them for 2 weeks. Now he noticed that just past where the red flowers were, the ground seemed to stop. But he thought, well, the world has to end somewhere, and maybe it's there. And so he carried on eating, until the only ones left were the ones just over the edge of the cliff. I thought, well, if I was to go down on my knees and stick my neck out, then I could maybe just reach them and... Ah! And he fell. And he ended up at the bottom of the cliff. Here he is, lying on his back. Now, I don't know if you know this or not, but when a fat little sheep ends up lying on its back, it can't get back up again. It is going to die. And so Barnaby's lying there on his back, trying, and he can't move. And I think Barnaby begins to think a bit like this. I've had it now. I've completely had it now. I am totally, completely lost. Because the shepherd doesn't know where I am. And even if he did know where I am, well, he wouldn't want me because I'm too much trouble. I've been too bad. He's not going to care about me. Do you know, I think sometimes we can think a bit that way about God. You know, we think when we've done something particularly bad, and we think, well, God's not going to love me anymore, nobody's going to love me anymore, God's going to not like me, and he won't care anymore. Do you know what? The shepherd that night was counting his sheep back into the sheep pen. 86, 87, 88, 96, 97, 98, 99. Well, it should have been 100. I went out with 100 this morning. Don't tell me one's missing. And the sheep knew exactly who it was, so they all told the shepherd. They said, it's Barnaby. Exactly. And the shepherd looked around and thought, do you know it is? It's Barnaby. Come on, dogs. And he got his lantern and the dogs, and off he went looking. Now, it didn't take them long to find Barnaby. And pretty soon the dogs were leaning over the cliff and looking down and barking, and the shepherd came and looked. Barnaby, how did you do that? Come on. And so the shepherd began to climb down the cliff. And it wasn't easy. It was a tough climb. And he got bruised and he got scratched and he got his arms all bleeding and his fingers hurt. And he climbed all the way down the cliff until he got to the bottom, and there was Barnaby. Barnaby, you silly sheep. Why do you have to go off and do that? Come on. And he picked him up, tucked him right inside his cloak, and somehow managed to scramble back up the cliff with more cuts and bruises and scratches. You see, the shepherd really cared about his sheep. And you know what? The Bible tells us that there is someone like that who really cares about us, even when we do all the things that we know we shouldn't do. And that someone who really cares about us actually said that he was, see if you can read right the way across the top, the Good Shepherd. He said, I am the Good Shepherd. Now, can anyone tell me, who was it said? I am the Good Shepherd. Anybody going to tell me? Okay, give it a try. Not the one in my story. He was a very good shepherd, but he's not the one I'm thinking of right now. Okay, nobody at the back want to try it? No, go on then, I'm going to have to tell you. It was Jesus. And Jesus said, I am the good shepherd, and the good shepherd gives his life for his sheep. You see, Jesus didn't just climb down a cliff and get scratched and bruised like the shepherd in my story did. Jesus did something amazing. What he did was this. He died on the cross. Do you know the Bible says that when he died on the cross, he was being punished. We get punished if we do things wrong, don't we? Well, you should. Did Jesus do anything wrong? I said he was being punished, didn't I? You see, the Bible says he was being punished for all the things that I've done wrong. For all the things done wrong by anyone who'll believe and trust in him. That's amazing. Because you know, when I was the same age as some of you, I found out about what Jesus had done. And I said to Jesus, Jesus, I am really sorry for what I've done wrong. Please, would you forgive me and would you come and live inside of my life and help me to follow you? And you know what? That's exactly what he did. Because he didn't stay dead, did he? No. What happened 3 days afterwards? Yes?
He came back to life.
Brilliant! He came back to life again. And because he's alive, he can be the best friend of anybody who asks him. And you know what? Because Jesus is my best friend, and because Jesus is my good shepherd, then I know, just like Barnaby did once he'd been rescued, that I am safe and cared for and looked after. And that is the best thing that you can know. You listened very well to my story this morning. I want to finish just